Hello everyone, this is Okubo here for Coffee Break with Joe. The thing that I loved now, and I kind of loved before but not so much, is editing. I really love editing now, and I really get into it, and it takes me a long time to edit my work just because I try to be really critical on myself, even more so because I have learned from past mistakes where I have trusted my work to other people to edit, and they did the work poorly, and that just goes to show me that it's not an easy task. And editing my films is, I can forget to eat, I can forget to sleep sometimes, where I finish editing and I'm out there at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I have work tomorrow, and I have to go force myself to sleep. With my book, my new book, I'm editing, during my coffee breaks or wherever I can get some free time, and I'm there editing and retyping and fixing and editing. And I made a joke recently where I'm like, I'm 1% done. So that is something that I really enjoy. That being said, editing is one thing that I really want, and I really want to keep doing it. I think it shows me what I've accomplished, and that's something that's wonderful. I think people aren't paying attention to the relationships in my novels. I mean, they're paying attention to the fantasy part in Amberlight series, the whole series, books 1 through 3. They're paying attention to the magic, they're paying attention to the action and the world that I've built, but I think a lot of them don't really pay attention to the relationships, the love story that is in everything. You can have the most hardcore action, but if there's not that relationship between two people, then you're missing something. And with me, in my novels, the relationships between the characters and the bonds they form, I think people say and go, oh, okay, yeah, they're a party, they're a group, they're going to slay this creature and they're going to win. And they don't see the relationship. They're missing the forest for the trees. And I think when you look at the relationships in my novels, you can get so much more depth of the characters, and you can learn so much more. And that right there would lead you to where you can see the story as being not just a struggle between good and evil, but a struggle for our own inner nature. And that is that we are creatures of social status. We are creatures who want to be in social groups and have our position noticed and be verified and be accepted into society. And that's how human beings kind of work, and that's what comes from relationships. I know that it's one thing, yeah, but you can be the luckiest person in the world and the most fortunate person in the world, but if you don't do the work, if you don't get behind the camera and start the project, or get in front of it and act it out, or get behind the pencil and write it out, if you are not willing to do the work, then no amount of fortunate and events in your life and lucky events in your life are going to help you. So nothing can replace hard work, in my opinion. And that's some things that the current generations tend to forget, that it takes a lot of hard work. I come from a hard work family where, we didn't have a lot growing up, and we had to put a lot into our own things. And I still hear from my mom. She's happy I've made such progress and put myself so far ahead of where we were. But I don't see it that way myself. I see it as I still have a long way to go, and nothing replaces work. There are a lot of things that I'm still not able to do just because I'm an introvert, and there's a lot of things that I need to work on to make myself more acceptable and more available in today's publishing and producing world. and that's something that I have to work on. But when it comes to your own work, you have to put in the effort. I'm afraid of failure. I am. I'm not so much afraid of being successful. I've had money in my life, and I've lost money in my life. I've had a lot of friends in my life. I've lost a lot of friends in my life. So being successful is not something that I'm afraid of. I am afraid of failure, just because there's so much of me in my work that seeing it fail is akin to seeing myself fail, and that's something that I fight off of every day, and it causes me to go into bouts of depression and really become introverted a lot more, really see myself as not wanting to be accepted in the real world. And that right there hurts me a lot, because when I become introverted, I tend to regress. My work tends to stagnate, and fighting that off, I found ways to fight it off. And there are bouts when I'm really, really super productive, and there are bouts when, I get crippling depression at home that I have to fight through just because I'm afraid of failure. And that fear really sinks in. But again, everyone has their own demons, and we fight through them as best we can. I'm fighting through mine, and I think if I didn't have my novels, my movies, my scripts, my hobbies, and my family, I think that I would be unable to function normally. And that's the leading drive for me to be able to ward off that fear of failure. I live in Japan, and my books have been bought and read in other parts of the world. I hope someday to meet a fan, and I hope the fan asks me, if I can sign their book or something. And in that sense, I hope that I'm gracious and deserving of the praise. I'm a big fan of Val Kilmer, and I watch his Instagram feeds when I wake up, and it's so motivating. And I think to see how humble he's become, and how he said, he did many things wrong when he first became a huge star, and he's learned from that. And I want to be deserving of the fans I get, and I want to be able to treat them with respect as much as they would treat me and my work with respect. You can find me at Okubo on Instagram. You can see the scan tag appearing now. And you can find me at Okubo Author. That's my Facebook page. You can find me on my website, jinokubo.com. And the way you spell Okubo is JINOKUBO.com. The same on YouTube. You can find me at Okubo. You can also find me and reach me through GoIndieNow, and get a hold of me through there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe, for letting me have this coffee break with you, and have a good one.